Recording. Hello and welcome everybody to this week's Flying with Angels, and today is whatever day it is. It's Thursday the 3rd. Thursday the 3rd of May, and today we welcome our dear friends Robert Sharpe and Worley, and they will be answering questions. We will be doing an interview with them. And Roy is a gifted medium, and he was a teacher. And Robert is the founder and host of Bite Radio Me, bringing inspiration to Earth, where he has interviews with people about things that will help humanity and people on a spiritual journey. People write books, and he comes and he gives them interviews, and his show is very popular, and he's been doing it for 7 years now, 7.5 years. So I'd like to introduce also our other host, Rihanna. Hi, Rihanna.
Hi.
And Rihanna is going to read the blessing for us. Hi, Robert, you got a wave? Robert's waving, looking very dashing, Robert.
Thank you.
Roy is just on air at the moment. So what I'm going to do is I'll mute everybody and except Rihanna, and Rihanna can read out the blessing. Okay, so I'll just put up a picture of our lovely Kathy Bradshaw, who was the original founder to Kathy's Distant Echoes, and who helped me to do what I do today, and Rihanna as well. And who's messing about with sounds?
That's
your stomach, Simon.
I think you've unmuted me. I was muted to start with.
Oh yeah, you did. When I went down and muted you, I unmuted you, so that must have been like a motorbike or something going down the road. Thanks, Rihanna. So this is good fun, isn't it? And we know Kathy's with us here today, and also so is our dear friend Deb Skiller, who used to be Heavenly Heathen and have a lot of different handles in the chat room. So welcome everybody. I'll now pass you to Rihanna.
Well, hello. Our blessing, we love this. It originally came from Nick Nash, the fellow co-founder of Kathy's Distant Echoes, and never to be forgotten. He's always in Lynn's nice prayers, and he's away in Canada. And Lynn's and I adopted this for our show because it's the translation into English from Aramaic, and it's the Nazarene version, and we feel that it speaks to everyone, and it's very dear to our hearts. So here we go. O thou, from whom the breath of life comes, who fills all realms with sound, light, and vibration, may your light be experienced in our utmost holiest. Your heavenly domain approaches. Let your will come true in the universe, and give us wisdom for our daily need. And detach the fetters and faults that bind us. But let us be kept from that which keeps us from our true purpose. From you comes the all-working will, the lively strength to act, the song that beautifies all and renews itself from age to age, sealed with trust, faith, truth and love. As it is spoken, so it is. Amen. I love to add this one, because this message goes out to you all from Divine. You are all a beautiful, magnificent, multidimensional being, whose sole purpose it is to expand into love and to be love, as is who you are. Namaste.
Namaste, and thank you, Rihanna. And I'm going to take this over now. Later, after we've done an interview, we will be doing readings. If you'd like to join the show and call in please do. You don't have to come onto video camera. You can just come in. You can call on your phone on 631 353 4342 and enter 70017 to speak to the host. I'm the host. I'm your host with Rihanna George, who is our second host, and in the chat room, I am under the name of Kathy's Distant Echoes. So if you see Kathy's Distant Echoes, that's me, Linz. And Rihanna George is in the chat room as Rihanna George. I'd like to just read this before we go further, and then Rihanna would like to pass on a message for everybody that she has. This is the Flying with Angels Angel Card Readings disclaimer. Readings on this show are for entertainment purposes only and does not replace the advice of medical, legal or financial services. Whilst we endeavour to assist you, readings are not set in stone. Future events may be affected by your own lack of actions or actions and your own free will. Opinions of others in the chat room do not necessarily reflect the view of the host of the show. We reserve the right to remove a person from the chat room due to inappropriate behaviour. We simply ask that you be kind to one another, discuss things pertaining to the show and enjoy the show. You are welcome to post your own links in the chat room for the benefit of everybody and for the benefit of everyone. And that was written by me, Lindsay Harrison, host and founder of Flying with Angels. And I would now like to pass you to Rihanna, who would like to pass over an important message to you all about contacting her, and then we shall introduce our guests. Okay, Rihanna?
Thanks, Linz. I'd like to thank every single one of you for your support at the moment. If you try to get hold of me, as it's normally advised on my website, because there's a contact link there, you will not get there. We're in the process of completely changing and upgrading our website, so it's being worked upon, and of course we do not employ a web designer. My husband designs and deals with all the nitty-gritty connected with the eventually with the provider, so we're just at the basics of creation at the moment. But how you can contact me, the easiest way to make contact with me in the meantime, if you'd like an appointment, is to contact me. You'll find me on Facebook if you type in the search Healing Hands Sanctuary, and you go to the About page, if you haven't liked me, it should still take you there, and you will see in that process, as you scroll down, an area to message me. Please feel free to message me there. For those of you that are already connected on my private timeline, of course, you can contact me there also. There is another alternative for those who are listening who are not in touch via social media. You can text me in the first instance, or phone me, but leave a voicemail on 07779 304 146. I'll repeat that. 07779 304 146. Thanks very much indeed, and keep your eye open, because it's going to take a while, but we're hoping not in the less than the next couple of weeks. We have an awful lot of work to do, but that it will be there. Thank you, Linz.
Right, thank you, Rihanna, for that. And for now, I would like to introduce, as Kathy with her dog's picture I put up there, because she loves her son's dogs and she likes everybody's dogs, and she's a dog lover. I'd like to bring Roy on first, and that's okay with Robert, and we'll see what we can ask ask Roy. Hello, Roy, and welcome very much to Flying with Angels. It's lovely you're here again. You and Robert really are the gentlemen of Blog Talk Radio, and it's an honour to have you here. How have you been?
Doing well, thanks. And yourself?
Right, good. Yeah, I'm doing very well, thank you. I know you've you're short on time today. You won't be able to stay the whole hour and a half.
No, this is
so I
true,
thought I would bring you on first. Is there anything you would like to tell the listeners about yourself that you feel you'd like them to know?
You were correct. I started doing full readings when I was 8 years old. And at age 8, I remember noticing that everybody that I came in contact with, family, friends, my parents' friends, seemed to have a different energy or vibration. And at age 8, Lynn, I didn't even have a word for it. But I did know that if I recognized that if I just paid attention to each person's uniqueness, then information specific to that person just came into my head. Now, I started telling both my grandmothers names of people they had forgotten 15 or 20 years beforehand, and knew that they had not discussed any of those events in my presence. And exactly what had happened, well, they were your stereotypical Southern Baptist, which is a very strict Protestant sect, and that scared them. So they started taking me to their Southern Baptist church 4 or 5 times a week, and that scared me. So I don't know who scared who the most, but that was the situation. So, yes.
Well, in those days, Robert, you didn't talk about that sort of thing, and you didn't say anything about that sort of thing, and it wasn't accepted, was it? Although
no, it was
there
not.
were people that were psychic, it was very much under the cupboard. And with the churches, you just don't do anything like that. And it was worse in those days when you were younger, 25 years ago, to what it was today.
Well, it was a little longer than 25 years. So.
Yeah, I know. I'm pulling your leg.
Yeah, but I appreciate that. So,
yeah.
And another thing, to our knowledge, I'm the first person in my family to be psychically gifted. However, everybody else in my family, my mom, dad, my brother, aunts, uncles, cousins, all sang beautifully, and I've never been able to carry a tune at all. So,
And that's that your
that was their gift.
Your gift.
Absolutely.
Do you think? Can I ask you a spiritual question,
Certainly,
Robert?
Certainly.
On a spiritual level, not a religious question, a spiritual level. Do you think that your soul essence came down in its entirety? How do you say it?
Entirety.
No, all of your soul came down for this lifetime for you to be so gifted.
I'm actually clueless as to whether that's the case or not. I don't have an answer.
Well, I just thought I'd ask because it's interesting. I find things like that are interesting.
Yeah, okay,
and,
I understand.
I just wonder, because you were so psychic, but other people we know have been like that as well.
Yes.
It's not such a taboo now as what it was, but it still can be quite delicate at times.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Well, one thing that I did notice, I quit my teaching job in 1987 just to do readings, and I had been teaching in Anchorage, Alaska. Well, I moved to San Diego, California, and there, I was just getting started, and they have these little psychic fairs, and I would go to those, meet people, do readings. Rule of thumb was if I did a reading for somebody, Lynn, not only did that person come back, but they typically sent 3 or 4 additional people. So in progression with that, in 6 months, my phone was ringing every day. and continue to do so. But one thing that I never had myself personally was a good reading for myself. Now, I tried to have readings with people who I knew were gifted and did, very good readings for other people. And then in 1996, 9 years after I'd been doing this, I had a reading from a gentleman named Jade who lived in Los Angeles, California, and he did Ayurvedic astrology. Now, that's Ayurvedic astrology is
what sort of egg was that?
Ayurvedic is out of the country of India. He went to India and
Can you
studied
spell it?
Ayurvedic.
Oh, I know. Averdic. Averdic, isn't it? We pronounce it different over here.
Okay.
I've got an Indian friend, and I do know what you're talking about. There, it's Verdic. It's cut short to Verdic astrology, and it's
Vedic,
different to our
Vedic,
astrology.
Okay.
And
But,
it goes into all your different areas of your life path and soul in a more in-depth way, with your connection to who you are down here. Yes, I know. Sorry, Robert. No, Roy. Sorry, Roy. I've got nasty.
Okay, but he did a Vedic astrology reading for me, and he said that he had been doing that a long time, and he had only seen Saturn conjunct something, and I forget what that is, in one other chart other than mine. And he said that he was very intuitive, but when he did my chart, that he had to go strictly by the numbers, in his books, that his intuition wasn't working with tuning into me and my energy and my chart. And he said what that meant was me coming in, I was supposed to give readings, but not get readings. Well, that as soon as I had that, I haven't even tried since then. Hasn't interested me. It's perfectly fine. So that was, he said, for me, it was like putting on my oldest favorite pair of tennis shoes. It was so comfortable, and it always has been. And I learned early on that any of us that would like to strengthen our own good, innate intuition, the best way to do that is to trust the information when it comes in. Don't poo-poo it. Don't second-guess it. Well, at age 8, I didn't think to not trust the information. And if it came into me, to me, that was exactly the way things were with whomever I was tuning in with. There was no questioning about it. So, but yeah, that was an enlightening reading for me to have personally. Was that so?
Yeah. Yeah, that is enlightening, isn't it? Brianna,
Yeah.
Do you have a question for Roy?
Oh, well, I love listening to this, Roy. I do agree with you. I think that you are one of the special souls on that's come to Earth to walk.
Yeah. I agree. And I have never advertised to do readings. All my readings have been word of mouth. Now Robert set up a website for me several years ago, but I don't do anything on the computer. And he'll tell you, we recognized probably 15 years ago that when I got close to his computer would literally shut down, and he would have to reboot it. So over time, he's learned that if he wants me to see something on the screen, that he'll tell me, and I will get just close enough to be able to read whatever it is. And even doing that, sometimes it's been problematic that he'd have to, something would happen with the computer. He theorized that I must put out like some type of electromagnetic energy of some sort. I know people who can't wear watches because their watches stop. So all of us have different levels and strength and degrees of our personal energies, I think. So
I don't know how many watches, and I can't wear them. They will stop.
okay. So you know what I'm talking about then.
Yes, and also I've got other friends who are mediums who if they've got a lot of spirits around them, everything goes balmy. I was speaking to us the other day, and she goes into say she had to go and do TV, for example, which she's done and she's quite well known, and the whole system goes crazy. Lizzie.
She kept going in and out on our show because she kept getting booted out and coming back and things with the computer. And I said to her, it's an apparition. Lizzie's an apparition. And then we could hear her and we couldn't see her, and then we could see her and we couldn't hear her. And she said, this always happens with electrics for me, you know.
What happens with me, Roy, is that I don't know how many, because usually I think when I've done my work, I just go on and sit and totally relax. So you might have the telly on and I'll just be having my eyes shut, just what I call just chilling. And all of a sudden I'll have like a little floor light that stands behind the settee where I sit. And frequently, I can't tell you how many times, I keep popping the bulb. Also had I have these twisty lights, I call on the ceiling, directional, right? And the surrounding of them, because they're little tiny bulbs inside, screws on tightly. On 2 or 3 occasions now, one just missed my husband. At the first time I saw this silver thing on the settee next to where I sit, and I thought, what the heck's that? And I didn't think to look up, you know, and I put it to one side, and it's happened 3 or 4 times now. It unscrews itself and comes down on deck as if to say, we want to speak to you. But I've also known when I've gone in and out, usually sort of Christmas time when there's lots of energy and busyness, because I feel I'm a bit, you know, I'm not so at ease to deal with a lot of busyness in the shops these days, getting old. I would set the alarms off, going in and coming out. And he's proved a point that it was me. As I said, I said, right, Ian, you go out before me and wait there. Wait till it's clear and I'll walk out. Oh, well, we were both on our knees of laughter in the shopping mall because it was actually me. I'm talking all day long, every shop I went to. So, yes, that's happened on numerous occasions. Yeah.
And you notice those things. Notice those things when they happen.
Notice those things.
Yes. So it's only my landline, don't really hot switch it off. It'll go away. It's probably one of these scammy calls because I'm not expecting anybody. I'll leave a message. Oh, thank goodness.
I've got a question, Roy, from my sister Viv. She would like to know what ambitions Roy has.
Okay, well let me say this very succinctly. I will be 65. My ambition is to kind of lay low, slide on out of here. You know, we created the prophecy board in 1994, so that was 24 years ago. And I have a good solid client base. I plan on doing that, but that's pretty much it for me with anything ambitious. So.
Well, do you know what, Roy? I'm 69 and I started to appreciate the journey, and I'm learning every single day at an older age. But I love it. I mean, it's who I am. So
absolutely, yeah. I like things smooth and easy and laid back, and so.
Yes.
So yep. And between the board game, the readings, Robert's radio shows, and the radio shows actually started in 1996, so that was 22 years ago.
Yes.
Yep. And next year he and I will have been together 30 years, so we're kind of wrapping up. So, you know.
I celebrated the wedding anniversary of my husband 32 years, so it's about the same.
Yeah.
But I was saying I've had the same, if you like, from family members, bless their hearts, who are, if you like, church and Christian type based. How they're within the condition, you know, and that's sometimes very difficult. But I still just remain loving and accepting people.
Well, what I did with that personally was
me or not. It's a case of having to, isn't it? It's who you are. I will never deny who I am.
Well, what I did with that personally was I let my karma run over their dogma.
Yes.
So.
Yes. Exactly, my friend. Wonderful. It's lovely to speak to you about that. Now, I would like to ask you another question, if I may, before we move on to Robert. I noticed that you've authored some books. Yeah. Perhaps you'd like to tell people a bit about them and where they can get them, Robert. Roy.
Okay, Robert is the author.
Ah, right.
His book. He did the book.
I thought
Roy
you
is a medium.
Yes.
No, he's done a board game.
Ah, right.
Does readings.
Yeah, that's
right.
Okay.
Well, shall I bring Robert in then?
Well, that's perfectly fine. But people,
right, I'm gonna bring...
for all our years, people call me Bob and people call Bob Roy, so we just answer to both.
I'll tell you what, the amigos, Rob Roy.
Yeah, exactly, Rob Roy. That's our company name. And yeah, even we have friends who they will call and can't tell who's answered the phone and just say Roy Bob. So that works as well. So
nice.
Right, I'm gonna unmute you, Simon. Not Simon, sorry, Robert.
Hey there.
Simon, you can come on if you want.
He's
right.
shaking his supplement.
Tell you we have got here, Robert and Roy. We've got Becca here.
Yeah, I have a question for Simon.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
First of all, he's got a very, very strong energy. As soon as he said hello, I got a rush of information that kind of flooded in. Wanted to ask him if he's been a little more stressed lately than usual. It would have been noticeable, and also there would have been some. I don't necessarily know that if I would call it back pains, but a sensitivity in the lower area of his back.
Yes.
So, yep, and that Simon seems to be really somewhat stress related, and another burst comes in about that everything that you've been dealing with will kind of be resolved by the time we get into the first week of June. So if you can just hold on to your hat the month of May, it'll be coming to resolutions.
Wonderful.
So yeah, just let it go. And another thing, these are your guides and not my guides coming in. My guides talk to me in a southern accent, and yours do not. So they're telling me that you need to incorporate, pay attention to incorporating some more fun and play, just in general.
That makes sense, yes.
Yes, it does.
Just that kind of lay low. And here, you probably have it in your area as well, but here in America, we use the verbiage, fake it till you make it.
Yeah.
Just pretend you're happy and pretend you're giddy, and the universe will eventually start expressing outwardly into your reality situations that will truly support those feelings. So
Thanks.
it's really a good time to kind of let loose a little bit, Simon.
Thank you.
Did that make sense to you, buddy?
Yes, it does. Definitely.
Okay. And yeah, well, I'm glad to hear that. It almost felt like some like just free floating, unexplained, couldn't put your finger on it, sadness and anxiety. It's time to get out in the sunshine.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. No problem. They really wanted you to have that information today, Simon. So
Yeah. Thanks very much.
Right, shall we bring Robert on now?
yeah, that would be perfect.
Yes.
Hello, Robert. Have you met Roy?
I think I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, he blows
Once or
up
twice.
computers.
I know. I really do have to keep it at a distance. I mean,
Do you have
it's,
a funny story about that at all?
Well, no, I mean, it was just that, the first time that it happened, like you're saying, it's just one of those things that you notice. It happens repeatedly. You take notice, and like he says, I have to, if there's anything for him to see, you have to bring it up and have it ready for him to see. Otherwise, if he's near me, things instead of loading become slowing. That it just doesn't seem to work.
Yeah, you were breaking up a bit, but
Oh,
I know
sorry.
what you mean. We couldn't get the gist of what you were saying, Robert. Yeah.
Okay.
So, Robert, how are you doing?
I'm doing great.
You look very good. Very good.
Thank you very much.
And, do you still do your crocheting?
Yeah. Yes, I do. Yep. As a matter of fact, I got 2 orders for bean blankets. One is here and one is coming. So I need to get that old needle out. I don't do it as much as I used to, but yeah, especially with babies, I love doing those.
Have you got headphones, Robert?
Excuse me?
Have you got headphones near you?
No, but let's see here. I might be able to piggyback on Roy.
I was going to say,
hold on a second. Okay, there. How's that?
Yes.
Let's see. Let's say something.
Hello?
There's Rob Roy there. Sounds like the cowboy thing, doesn't it, Rob Roy? Roy Rogers.
Yeah. Roy just handed me his phone. So
and now you're echoing.
Yeah, apparently the headphones that I was using is there some
that's all. Robert,
backlash?
pass the phone back to Roy. It was better before.
Okay.
And we like to make the show fun.
Technology is fun.
Hold on.
There you go. Are you back with us? Yes.
I'm going to try this again and put the microphone closer. Is this happening better?
That's better. Yes, thank you.
That's better. Yeah, that is better. So.
Okay.
I was
that's
going
better.
to say, Robert, that fascinates me to have so many what I call creative skills. And I know you do the crocheting, not so much as you used to, but I'm assuming that was like a winter type pastime. So when you couldn't go outside much, that you decided to pick up the needles. Did you have somebody in the family that taught you those gifts?
No, actually, no one has. Well, I should say, my grandmother
Yes.
might have. She was the crafty one, that I, knew, but we weren't always that in touch. So I don't know if she really did that. She did a lot of pottery and porcelain kinds of things. But no one did crocheting. But the woman taught me, and it was in 1991. She was probably 85, 86 then, and she used to work for General Motors. And she said she taught many women how to crochet, but I picked it up faster and more creatively than any of those. And she was the one who taught me. So
I bet she's quite proud of you then. Yeah.
I think so. Yeah, so it was fun.
You do it by hand or with a machine, Robert?
By hand, every stitch by hand.
Oh, your blankets look fantastic. They are so in line. They look like they're done by a knitting machine because they are so precise. Oh, that's really good to know you do that by hand.
Yeah. And it's interesting. And when we lived in Albuquerque, I went to one of the Native American events that they have around there. There was a gentleman who was doing rug, making a rug. And the one thing that I learned a lot from him, and one of the things that really kind of struck me, he says that he always includes a flaw in the rug, because nothing in life is perfect, he said. So, and I just laughed because I used to, get real upset with myself if I missed a stitch or that kind of thing. But ever since then, I just thought, this is that little imperfection.
Oh, I love that story, Robert, because years ago, when I was a youngster, it became sort of like fashionable for the families. We'd all sit round. My mum was never really interested. There would be my auntie and a few, and my dad, I think, and a few others. We would do all this rug making. We made several rugs, when I was growing up. So it's quite very interesting. It became a fad. I can't remember the year when it all became a fad here. Can you, Lind? Can't hear her.
Say that again. Yeah. What did you say?
When it became a fad here for rug making, because I remember it was like a family thing.
It was when. Well, you would have been older than me, but then I got married young. It was when my children were young. It was, say, 19. I got married 72. It was about 75, 70. Because we moved into Cranberry Road and I bought a rug making kit, and I made a couple of rugs and I enjoyed it. So it'd be about 77, Rihanna.
Yes, must have been. Yes, that's
when it was like everybody was doing a rug, and the rug I made lasted for years. I think in the end we threw it away one time when we moved because we'd had it so long we were fed up with it, but it was nothing wrong with it really, so that's very good.
Hard, yes. And Robert, going on to another question for you, if I may. Were you keen on photography as a child? Was there anybody in your family that also, if you like, had the ability? Because I know afterwards you went and I think you studied it and everything, but I was just wondering, was that interest like within you as a small child?
Yeah, that's interesting. First of all, I did have an uncle who very often had a camera out and was taking photos. Now, as a child, I did have, the camera, but quite honestly, the processing, it was expensive. So it really was not one of those things that I did a whole lot of. But then in college, in one of those electives, I did photography in that, and that was wonderful. I had a lot of fun in the dark room, playing with light and dark, and then dropped it pretty much for a long time until, probably 5 years ago.
Yes. Do you remember the old box brownies, Robert?
Box brownies? You mean the camera?
Yes.
Yeah, they were made by Kodak.
Right. Yes.
They were fun. I remember those. I remember my dad having one, taking photos with it years ago. So,
yeah, it's come a long way. With digital, it's just, before, if you were to take, 20 pictures to capture that one special image, you'd go through a whole roll, and it's like,
yes.
Then you're going to have to process it, and then find, with digital, it's like I can take 30 or 40 pictures, and then boom, I keep the one that I really like.
And then my dad had this other thing with the photographs. I don't know whether you'd send away for them to be developed, but they would have like a little casing, and they would go out on a screen, and they'd go around on a little, what I call a little whirly gig. So when the photos came, rather than be totally developed, they were about this size, and they went through like a screen, and that's probably slides. That was years ago as well, wasn't it?
We took a load of them because they were cheaper, and we've just recently, last year or the year before, got a slide projector so we could look at them, because we didn't have one, and we couldn't find one anywhere. Shows you how old you are, And that was slides. They would come out as slides, and you had a projector, you put them on.
About 3 or 4 different cameras here, a Nikon and a Canon, and I don't know what else, but he has the lenses, but he hasn't got a real big one at the moment, but I think eventually he'll want one of those. But he's not studied it or anything, but he took some just with his mobile phone the other day, because obviously he couldn't take the camera to work. He showed me some photographs. He managed to get, and they were like over the road, so from where the complex was, he took a photograph of a couple of deer, wild deer. So he was thrilled to bits that he could catch that. So he's very good like that. I'm not very good at zooming in on a mobile phone, on the cell phone, but he's got the knack. So yeah, he's keen on. He loves when he gets an opportunity. He loves to take photographs outside. But your photographs are unbelievable. I love to get them when you capture a flower or a leaf. You capture its essence. You can watch a lot of photograph pictures or pictures of flowers and plants, but I have to say that there is a uniqueness about yours, which is exceptional, because you seem to go right into it. But if you took a picture of a leaf, for example, you would actually see the veins, but it would be special. Do you know what I mean? It wouldn't be just, to me, just another photograph. I love your photography. I love your photography.
You've got a very good eye for photography, Robert, haven't you?
Thank you.
Have you got any advice for any would-be photographers?
Yes.
I would just say, kind of just be in the present moment. Really kind of look around. It's really often that I'll look at, something will just catch my eye, and then that's when I kind of zoom in and try and figure out, what it is I want to capture. And yesterday I was in one of the local garden areas, and there was one flower that I'll probably put up on Facebook in the next or so. But it took me probably a good 20 minutes, to be able to find the right one and the combination, and so, and it's just, basically I just love, looking at things from different angles. So, and I think some of that photography class kind of pops with the idea of shading, in backgrounds and creating a dimension in the picture, all of those kinds of things that I learned way back then, a very long time ago, obviously seem to have stuck because they do work.
Yeah, it's there in your brain, isn't it? Can we bring Roy in again, everybody? Because I don't like to leave Roy out. Roy, are you still there?
Well, you know what? He actually isn't right at the moment.
Oh, has he gone to sleep in a chair? He's not had a cup of tea. He's not had a cake.
Actually, well, you're very close there. He did the cakes this morning or yesterday, but we were actually right after the show heading out to a friend's for lunch. We're bringing over a lunch, and he's right now doing a tuna casserole. Yeah, and putting it.
Very nice.
So, and he did the strawberry cake last night.
Isn't he?
Yeah. So anyway, so he kind of stepped away because it was getting ready to come out of the oven. So, but I can get him back.
That's what I was going to ask him. Is he coming back?
I can get him back. I have to check and see if he's done it. If you want, I can do that in a moment.
Well, that would be nice, but we don't want him to burn the dinner because I'll tell you what, I'd chat to Rihanna and I'll be doing the show or something. And I am forever talking angels, and I'm forever burning the dinner.
Exactly.
I get quite annoyed that I burn it.
I forgot. I've left my potatoes on the boil.
One moment, let me check if I can get him back.
Yeah,
okay.
I'll say to Rihanna, I've got potatoes on, can you remind me to go and turn them off? And she forgets, so that's something. While Robert is just going to get Roy, I'm going to bring Becca on. Yes. Hello, Becca.
Hi.
Hi. Are you enjoying the show so far?
I am. It's a good show.
Oh, good. I did put in the chat room, would you like to talk to Roy or Robert? And I don't think you saw it.
No, I don't have chat. I'm on my telephone, so I can't see anything.
Oh, right, okay. Would you like to speak to Roy or Robert?
Sure.
Okay, well, when Roy comes back with Robert, because Roy's cooking a casserole, everybody.
Ooh.
Tuna casserole, we want the recipe, and we could put it in the Flying with Angels recipe book, which is up in the ethers at the moment. But when he comes back, Becca, I'll bring him on. Rihanna's
I'm interested in that casserole because tonight we're doing tuna crunch pasta salad, which is quite nice.
Sounds nice. Yeah. What's the crunch made of, Rihanna?
Very finely cut onions and peppers and lots of little tiny little bits and pieces like that.
Carrots?
So, no, we don't put carrots in there. Just like a bit of raw red onion, but it's cut very, very tiny. Red peppers, they're bell peppers, red peppers, green peppers, and yellow peppers.
Hello.
Hello. That recipe sounds delightful. I might have to.
Oh, hi, it's Roy back. Of course, I was looking for him on the video and he's not there.
Yes, honey. A dear friend just had surgery, and I'm fixing a lunch to take over to her, and everything got kind of compressed today. But I certainly appreciate the opportunity to be on your show, both of you, and thank you for inviting me.
Oh, it's wonderful that you were able to come, Roy.
Yes.
It's lovely you were able to come, and aren't you kind to take your friend over a casserole? That's nice.
Yeah. It's what friends do.
Really nice.
Well, it is, isn't it? Yes, it is. Are you going now, Roy? Have you
Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Yes.
Okay.
Bob asked me to get back on, and so I wanted to thank you for having this opportunity today.
Oh, we'll have to do it again because it's always such a joy when you and Robert come on. And,
we always have a good time. Yes.
Yeah, we have a good time as well when you come on the show. You're like honorary guests, And,
okay, my dear. Well, both of you enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you very much.
God bless
Thanks,
you, Roy.
Roy.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Right,
That's
welcome back, Robert. Robert, I'm going to...
Thanks.
Becca would like to have a little word with you, I think. Would you, Becca?
Yeah, I'm just trying to decide which word.
You know, Becca. You know, yeah, it's a little word, but no, you know, Becca. Becca, don't you, Robert?
He
Becca
should.
Gardner.
Oh, certainly. Roy and I bring up your husband. Now, I bet you're wondering about that, huh?
All right, I just cut out so that I didn't understand what you said.
I said that Roy.
You broke up a bit.
Oh, sorry. I said that Roy and I bring up your husband often.
Uh-huh. Okay.
And that is because one time, long ago, you said that you wanted to take a picture of something and he wouldn't stop, for you to take the picture. And so every time we're driving along and I see something to take a picture of, stops, and he turns to me and says, I bet Becca's husband wouldn't have done this.
This is true.
That was a long time ago.
That was ages ago. Mm-hmm.
It was a long time ago. Well, you're doing great with your photography and stuff. I'm loving it.
Thank you. I enjoy pictures when you share them as well.
Yeah, I don't get them very often anymore, but
It's been, but the mood has to hit.
yeah. It's
Do
cutting
you
up.
still draw, Becca?
Sorry, what?
Do you still draw? Do you still do your artwork?
Once in a while. Yeah.
Well, I've just thought of something special. Right?
Okay.
I'm always up for putting people together and fitting them together, and I seem to be fitting you with lots of people, Rebecca. Robert, you do flower essence oils, don't you? You sell them. And
I have
them, and you take them round with you, don't you?
Yes, yeah, and
different ones. You wear one a day in a little pouch.
Yes, I've done that, and I also have done created like a little pouch where I put in the car, to kind of bring. And most often I will diffuse, the oils, which is where it you put it in the water and it kind of bubbles up and air. So I try to do one every other day, but it's one of those cases where I'm either when I'm drawn to do it, you know what I mean, and then. I pick. It's more than flowers. A lot of times it's trees or bark. I mean, one of my favorites is a white spruce kind of scent, and to me, it's just uplifting. I enjoy that.
Well, I have a thought. Becca, I used to have a friend. We used to have a friend, Lily Angel. We have friends of Rihanna's and mine, and she was a Reiki master, and she used to work with crystals. And she would infuse crystals in water, and then she would drip them. She would draw a picture on a card, and then she would drip the energy of the water from, say, a rose quartz crystal. And she would take it out and she would drip it over the picture she painted in watercolours, and it would make a nice effect. But it was her guides had told her that it also put in the energy of love into the cards. Now, have you ever thought of doing that with the cards that you make, Becca? And if you don't make cards, I feel you'll be making cards.
Well, I've been working with the oil.
I know you do your drawings, don't you?
Yeah, I've been working with oils and making essences lately. Yeah, that makes sense. Yep.
Yes, it does. Yeah.
Why I chuckled when you said that.
I surprised myself.
And I haven't told anyone that either, so yeah.
No, I don't know where that come from. I'm doing a Roy. This is just given to me. But no, I was just thinking of, I just thought of that and you. So that's amazing that you're working with the oils and that, you know. So,
yeah, and I'm going to put the crystals in them, so yeah.
Yeah, you're very similar to Roy in the fact that you do so much. You've got many things that you do. We've all worked with all modalities, but you do your drawings, your spirit drawings, you do your things. You do lots of different things. Roy also, not Roy, probably Roy does as well, but Robert, he does lots of different things, you know, and whatever you put your hand to is good. It becomes successful. Are you with me?
I am with you.
Becca, I put this up to the screen because Lynn's didn't see it. You know, she purchased me a beautiful crystal from some people that I've met that actually do them, but it came from one of their friends. They donated the crystal to this lovely lass. She's a Wiccan in knowledge, and she goes out and raises money, and her and another colleague go out every day where they buy blankets, snacks, bedding, you name it, for the homeless. They're out each day, I think.
Food and toiletries, don't they? Food and toiletries.
Yes. And the gift that Lynn's had sent to me from Lilith came with this card, and I think Lilith must have been, it's definitely home created.
Yeah, she does something similar.
Way, you can see it's quite angelic, and she's put like a little crystal in the middle, but it's like a little painting, and it is rather beautiful. And the thing is, in the shops, you don't find what I call, you'd have to go to a specialist shop to find what I call individual actual artwork, because obviously top artists, as you know, they would have theirs like Patrick Gamble does. I mean, to buy his original paintings are excessive amount of money. I mean, I think prints are quite expensive. I have a couple of his prints, 3 of his prints here I'm thrilled to have. But do you know what I mean? The individual artist, you could put towards a charity or something like that, and start creating things like that. It's just a like blank inside, so you can write whatever.
Each one would be unique.
And each one would be unique, is what I'm saying. Yes, Lynn's. Exactly. Isn't that beautiful? Look at the orange and the pink in there.
They've got your energy to them, so yeah.
Yes. She won't see that. It's on the archives, Lynn's.
Oh yeah, it's on the phone. It'll be on the archives, Becca.
Yeah, I'll have to watch it when I get home.
Yeah. Oh, where is the piece you hear?
Now, I was going to say, Lynn's, and Becca, on tomorrow's show at 4, I have a woman, Sherilyn Darcy, and she has Flowerpedia, and it lists 1,000 varieties of flowers and their meanings. And so, and she's a botanist. She's from Australia. So she'll be in tomorrow, and we'll be talking flowers for the whole hour tomorrow. So, you know,
I was going to do card readings today. I'm very much into flowers at the moment, and that's amazing. I won't be able to be there tomorrow, but I will make a point of listening to the archives, Robert.
Me too, Robert.
I'll
listen to the archives as well. It sounds very good.
I'll try to be there.
Yeah. It should be.
What time is it, Robert? Is it 9 o'clock in the evening?
For the show, yeah, that would be your 9 o'clock in the evening. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, so I might be able to be there.
Yeah.
But
Well,
I don't know. But I will definitely listen to the archive if I can't be there tomorrow evening. So, with that being said, can I pick you a flower card, Robert?
Sure.
And you take so many pictures of flowers. Have you thought of doing an oracle deck with Roy? You could have the photos of the flowers and the meanings that you think of for them, and Roy could look at them and give you the message for that particular card, couldn't he? With his guides.
There you
go. His guides would enjoy that.
I'm sure.
So there's another enterprise for you.
Thanks.
I'm full of enterprise. Just don't take them up myself, which I should. Right, so I'm going to pick you a card then, Robert. Becky, are you all right to stay for a moment?
I need to get off, but I'll watch the show later.
You've got to go in a minute, have you?
I do. We're getting ready to go in the store.
Oh, right. Hang on a minute. I'll just give you 2 cards have come out for you.
Okay.
Peer pressure, which is a primrose, right? And it says, don't let others coerce you into a decision. You know in your heart what the right choice is. And that I'll put this up so you can see it later. It's a lovely pink flower, right? And the other one is lavender, and this is a lovely card. It's anxiety. Let go of anxiety with lavender. And it says, calm your nerves and you'll be able to hear the voice of your angels. So if you're getting wound up when you're in the shop, just take a breath and take a step back and just very politely, no matter what you feel, just say, thank you very much to the cashier. And go out the door with a lighter step.
I can do that.
Yeah.
In fact, I'm going to walk by the flowers, so maybe I'll pick some up.
Yeah. Oh, that would be nice, because then you've got them when you get home, haven't you? You can put them in a vase, and flowers always pick you up, don't they? Cheer you up when you see flowers.
They do.
Robert, I'm going to pick one for Robert. But I'll just see if if Rihanna wants to pick you a card, Becky.
Okay.
Pick you a card, Becky?
Okay, sure.
Hold on. Decided to go to the Gabriel deck, and there it is. I've just opened it up. It had been, it's already been blessed and shuffled. Look what came up. She can't see. I'll explain to you. I'll look at it because it's and to talk about your artwork that we've been discussing. How beautiful, synchronistic, and what a spiritual blessing and an angelic blessing, because, as you know, Gabriel deals with all our ways of communicating, be it for ourselves to receive, but then as we do, when we're doing something, it then expels and gives to others. It's quite powerful. And I've got daily practice, and there's a picture of you in the middle of doing a painting. And you probably know these cards, so you can go and look them up. And it says, the more, it says new skills, but I'm saying you start again and bring in things from the past that enhance your now, and your now will flourish, is what they're telling me. The more comfortable and confident you become. Because I think, you gave it up because you didn't think people were very interested. No disrespect. Hang on in there, girlfriend.
Okay, thank you.
Don't give up at the first hurdle. Do it for you first, because you received such blessing from it, and then put it out there. Yeah. There you go. That's the card they gave me.
Okay.
You got the cards, and I think it's very synchronistic because we were talking about your artwork, and it was so guided. Yes, it's from the Archangel Gabriel deck, Becca. So cool. I will put it up to the screen so that if you watch the archives,
I will. I'll watch it when I get home.
There we are. Okay. Lessons.
Okay. I picked a card for Robert. I picked a card for everybody.
I've got Robert's at the moment.
I've got a card for Robert here. Now, Robert, this is for you. And would you like to read it? I know you weren't expecting one, were you?
No, but I would love that. I would love to hear.
You'll love this. This card is the chrysanthemum, and it's family harmony, and it says your loved ones form a strong pillar of support, embrace their love, and put past issues behind you. And I know you'll appreciate the picture of that card. It's very nice, isn't it? And it's a pink chrysanthemum, which is full of love. And that one I've picked for you, and I feel that life for you in the future, as well as for now, it's going to be very joyful. The next 3 months are going to be very joyful for you. And you'll find that the seeds of the things that you've planted will become a great success. And although you might be more busier than usual, than what you normally are, you'll cope with it and you'll deal with it, and you'll find the enthusiasm and the excitement to forge ahead with any new projects you may have and anything that you are doing. But at the same time, you will also enjoy what you're doing, so it won't feel like work, but you will also find you've still got time for yourself, for you and Roy. So I hope that helps you, Robert, and I can see Rihanna is smiling.
One thing I want to tell you, Linz, for the first time in probably 11, 12 years, I actually planted a little bit of a garden, and the fruit. I mean, right now the blossoms are starting to turn to fruit, but literally in the next 2 to 3 months, I'll be able to harvest. So very fitting.
That's lovely, isn't it? Do you know, I looked at that part of the chrysanthemum there, and I was just thinking, seeds. Tell him about the seeds he's planted, like the centre. Yeah. And I'm thinking, mentally, I'm thinking seeds, and I knew it didn't look anything like seeds, Robert. It looks like flowers. But it was such an accumulation there. So isn't that lovely? Yes, that's nice. And we want to know what has grown and you've harvested. You'll have to come back and tell us.
I'll certainly. I'm hoping there'll be a harvest. No, but the plants are looking real good. They're taken. So, and again, it's been years since I did it, but this year I just felt the urge, to do that planning and kind of connecting with the earth. So.
Oh, that's great. Right, off you go, Rihanna.
It's very synchronistic again, is Spirit and the Angels, with what Lynn's took for you, because I have got there's been like she talked about family and that's all going to improve, and I feel that the cards that I got can be related to that or anything else where there's been what I call slight hiccups or not anything huge, but small difficulties, Divine has it in order, because I got the Divine Order card as well from Raguel. So Shemarael is there saying to you, the worst is now over with. You put it up there, let it go. It's all been taken care of. It's not a problemo anymore. Yeah, not a problemo anymore. And yes, and everything is going to come into fruition for you. I'll tell you about that in a minute. But the other cards that turned up again was Archangel Gabriel in the community with communication and other areas of where that goes to. you are going to become, this is divine order, you're a natural counsellor, and many people benefit from your guidance and reassurance, and that's known through the radio shows you do and everything else. It's and the fact that the way you your guests come on and your wonderful positive attitude, the way you interview them, it excels that person, and it is a form of counselling, and it's wonderfully received. And I feel that this is extremely well recognised by Spirit and the angels, extremely, because again from Gabriel I've got the recognition card, but the other card that comes to mind from Gabriel is that bear in mind that that Lynn's explained to you, it's going to start to take up. I mean, you're already ever such a busy little bee, but things are going to be on the up and up, as they would say, and it might suddenly go just like that. We never know. But I've got here the ancient and manager card. Now, whether or not you were thinking of putting somebody in that sphere of things so that you can focus on your actual work. So in other words, you've got somebody actually that's doing your networking, doing your appointment schedule, going to meet people for your ongoing work and blah, 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 right? I feel that that's, or this new book, there's going to be a change of agency, but I just feel along the lines that because it's going to take off, those things have to be considered. But bear in mind, again, that the divine has it in order, okay? But what will come, don't cross it. Oh, so dot your I's and cross your dot your I's and cross your T's. You know, obviously be very careful when it comes to signing up for anything as usual, but just what I say, go with it because you're going to take off. And Archangel Michael's card to finish it off is it will have a favourable outcome. So it's going to all come together because you're such a calm person, and you will know to just take that one step at a time, and there'll still be time for your family and time for you to do the things that you enjoy, because if it starts to take off and you don't think about these other things coming into place for you, it could get a little bit eerie, you know. So your family life and your what I call your switch off parts of life need to be considered within the contents, if that's making sense.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it sounds like it's going to be a fun summer.
Yes. It's just I know that I don't know when timing is for it to be taken off. Maybe 6 months. But I know that you've got things afoot. I know that you've got things in the background, which, you know, your lips is sealed because, you know, fair enough, it's being worked upon, right? But all will be revealed. Watch Robert's space, people.
Yes, Watch Robert's space. His website and radio show site and Roy's website. The links are in the on the actual show page, everybody. So if you look back on the show page after the show, you will find the links there to Byte Radio Me on Blog Talk Radio and Roy Worley's website. So there we go. Rihanna's flashing Gabriel at you.
Yes, I am. And Asfield, counsellor.
And Samuel.
Yes, and...
Do you do a lot of counselling work, Robert?
Not officially. You know, it's one of those things where I do listen and, you know, refer people to others who I think could be of help. So, you know, that's
I feel I ought to tell you, Archangel Shamuel will surround you in a column of pink light, which is a protection for counsellors. He helps counsellors, and he surrounds you in a column of pink light, which is pink light of love, and he helps to make it easier for you to listen to people and to listen with compassion and non-judgment.
Yeah.
And anything that might be hard to listen to for you, it buffers you. Do you know what I mean? It just so you can listen with a open mind and not be emotional yourself about it.
I will say that, Linz, it's not about, like, if you like, professional counselling. Counsellor, as opposed to counselling, means that Robert has the, if you like, the personality and the disposition. So when he's, for example, when he's interviewing people.
Oh yes, I know, but
and somebody's got an issue.
Shamuel will still help him, Rihanna.
Yes, he is. He's carrying on helping.
He's helping the person that he's talking to about their book or whatever. But he is, by being surrounded in Shamuel's pink light.
Yes.
It helps the interviewer. It helps Robert to listen better and to ask the right questions. Archangel Shamuel helps everybody.
I trust that Robert in himself already knows how to answer. This is why I did it with, if you like, a vein of that is who you are now. You know,
but I'm just, if you find something difficult, if you find something difficult to listen to, and although he wants to put it over and he wants to talk to that people to help other people, sometimes you come across something that is difficult to listen. Anyway, Robert, if you ever find yourself in that situation and you remember, you can always just call on Archangel Shamuel to surround you in pink lights and help you.
Well, that's good to know. And there are times, when those kind of difficult questions, the difficult topics kind of come up, but my overriding desire, is to, first of all, make the guests very comfortable, but also to respect space and also, allow them to share something that'll help the listeners or somebody who else is going through the same kind of
thing. Exactly. I mean, and you're a man that's full of integrity as well. So you check people out, and if it's not, what you expect or what be of an inspiration to Earth, and it's about ego or it's about not for, in other words, doesn't have a really comfortable space, you will bypass that because it's not meant to be. You are a man full of integrity, is what I'm going to say.
Thank you.
That works in your favour. Very much so.
Yeah. I definitely have had those who have egos beyond their message, and so I tried to
try and think they can take the Mickey on, out of you, and we don't buy that, do we, Robert?
No.
That's not the point I meant. That's not what I meant.
Right.
I meant if Robert was listening to something that was personal to him, that he would find difficult to talk to or listen to.
I see. Okay.
That's what I meant. But Robert, you know who your biggest fan is in the angelic realm, who helps you out. He'll sort you out and look up. Yeah. Right. Moving on. Right. I'd like to move on.
Okay. Bless you.
To Simon, because it's getting on to past, and I've got 2 cards for Viv. Viv, I've got 2 cards for you, so don't disappear. But I know Simon's got to go off tonight. Well, he usually does. Simon, this re-enhances what Roy said to you. It's a tulip, and it's take time for yourself. Right? Now, enjoy relaxation activities that nurture your soul. Well, that's always a good idea, isn't it? But when you're walking about the parks, because I know you go through some parks on your day when you go different places, when you see the tulip, because they're all flowering there, all the flowers, aren't they? When you see tulips, remind yourself to take time for you, take time to smell the tulips even, take time for you, and remember to enjoy relaxation activities that nurture your soul, okay? And give yourself some time out. All right?
Simon.
Right, okay.
Very quickly, babe.
I've unmuted you,
yeah.
Simon.
I feel you absolutely love nature, Simon.
Yes.
It's time to, if you like, incorporate that in more than your everyday. Because I've got here that I'm using the therapy, the therapy deck, and I got the fairies come out. The fairies are with you, and I think the more you, especially with your art, it's guiding you to stay with your art. Even if you take a photograph of something and go back, but they want you to sit and really spend time in observation, okay? Because the fairies are there.
Yes.
They'll bring you some vision that you see within a plant or even a stone. I'm not being rude. When you sit there and you look at it and you embrace, if you like the message it's giving you, it will fill you with wonder, right? And that's the most important thing, is it fills you with wonder. That then eventually transpires with the pen, the brush, or the pencil. Okay. And I do see that you are, you will be attending workshops and seminars, and I think, well, you're attending your group for your mediumship skills and psychic ability, which is very good. And you are profoundly clairvoyant. This is the cards that have fallen out, and so I'm going with the flow of them. But it's okay to feel lost sometimes. But I want you to work on clearing your throat chakra. If that means sharing with people in the group, sort of like privately, or other friends, to work your skills. Or a friend that you can go out with and sit while they watch you work with that nature artwork. Whatever it is, it's about you. You invite that, although it says throat chakra, I believe that you're going to be the person who invites. Am I making some sense to you?
Yes, very much.
As opposed to waiting for the invite, you are going to do the invitation. And you are going to allow people to come in.
Thank you.
And be with you. I think that's quite an important move. But yeah, observe the fairies, because that was the first card that came out. Hope that resonates.
It does.
You're welcome. Okay, Linz.
Right, okay. Well, Robert's got to go now. So I'd like to thank him very much for being on the show with us, and thank you. And thank you for Roy to come on the show, for coming on the show as well. We hope you come back again another time, Robert. And it would be nice to have you and Roy on again.
Yes, it would.
And thank you very much. So,
it is my pleasure. I really thank you for having us both. We just love talking to you two. It's just a lot of fun always.
Oh, that's nice, isn't it? Well, it's the same when we get together with you, isn't it? You know.
It is.
Yeah. So yeah, bye bye then, Robert.
Okay.
You know how to turn it all off, don't you?
Yes, I do.
Bye.
Right, okay.
Okay.
Bye bye. God bless.
Bye now. Bye now.
Bye. Right.
Right.
And I've got. You're all right for a minute, Simon, aren't you?
Yeah.
I'm just going to do. Simon, would you have a message for my sister, Viv?
Pardon?
Would you have a message for Viv?
From spirit.
I've got 2 cards there.
Some, like on your mediumship, clairvoyant skills, Simon.
Oh dear.
I've got 2 cards here. Viv, the first one is a carnation, and it says, you can trust the people around you. They are earth angels sent to give you the guidance you seek.
I can grab the cards that's behind me at the moment.
What's behind you?
My cards are. They're not behind.
Oh yeah, not to worry, Simon. I just wondered if you had if you just had in your mind a message for Viv.
Right.
I've got another card. 2 cards come out for you, Viv, and it says it's a crocus, and it says you are a spiritual teacher, and it says share your wisdom with others. You were born to teach. So there you go. I know you've got a lot of wisdom. Sorry.
And I've just been given the word "see the magic."
Yes.
See the magic. See
yes.
the magic.
There you go, Viv. I also get that, there has been something that's been slightly unhealthy situation that has been holding you up slightly, Viv, and it's okay to leave that situation. I also have got, these are all Archangel Michael, by the way, guidance from the Spirit, that spend more time outdoors for yourself. And you're busy bees, or I'm rushing here, then everywhere. Stop, get yourself out and sit in an observation space just for you, with no other distractions whatsoever. Because I feel that you need that, my darling, because you are such an awesome person, right? I'm going to say, hang on, Viv. They're saying, hang on, Viv, what about you? And I want you to focus on you, right? This is what they're saying, focus on you. Focus on you. And I think that you are on the right path because I know that you do have psychic and mediumship abilities, because on your right path, look, you've been in contact for someone in relation to a child in spirit, because that's the card that arrived, okay? And I want you to know that they honour spirit, and the angels honour and respect you greatly. So, but they want you to honour and trust your own feelings. In other words, be confident with yourself. It's like when you put up a prayer, a rant, right? I say you have a personal one, you don't have to run it out for everybody else. And you say, right, I've said it, I'm sending it up now, because you know what? I don't need this energy around my space. I'm sending it and transmutating it away from me so I can focus on what I am, who I need to be for me and others. And that's the way you embrace the self and love the self, and the gifts then become flowing a lot more. So look after yourself, babe. All right, love you. Bless you. Okay, Linz.
Right. Viv said thank you, Rihanna.
Better. You're welcome.
Right, okay. Well, that's it. Time to go, everybody. Thank you very much for everybody that's joined us today, and for Becca and Roy and Robert, our special guests, Roy and Robert, and our wonderful Simon. Thank you, Simon.
Top man.
Yes, and thank you, Viv.
Yes, Viv, bless your heart.
And if you're watching this in the archives, anybody, God bless you, and I hope you have a wonderful week, depending on when the angels are surrounding you all the time. So we just say God bless you, and over and out, really.
Bye, bye, bye.
Bye.
Bye, Diana.
Yes, bye.
Say God bless you.
24th of May, we'll plan to come on board if everything goes smoothly.
Awesome.
That'll be our next show. Look out for us all. And thank you so much for being here, everyone. It's been absolutely fantastic. Our beautiful guests, Robert and Roy, and I'm sure they're going to be back soon. Okay. And our fantastic hostess with the mostess. And Kathy's there behind her. And it's our beautiful Linz. Thank you, darling.
Thank you. Right, I'm going to stop recording now.